Am I in the middle? Is it the middle?
Oh my god, that was embarrassing.
Hey, I'm back. Actually, before we start, has anyone seen a TikTok recently of some person singing on American's Next Top Idol? What is it called? American Idol, X Factor. They're wearing this specific shirt, or sweater, and I own that sweater. So I thought I'd put it on for like relevance. Also, this sweater is not what I'm talking about today. However, there is a story of deceit, lies, stolen money, general annoyance, and did I say deceit? Lies? Oh no, I already said both of them. That have to do with this particular article of clothing, which if you would like to know about, I will be happy to tell you about. But that's not what we're talking about today. I'm going to talk to you today about a time in the distant past of 2020, before we kind of knew about the Pantene commercial, let's say, that we were in. I would say, I know like internet, and I'm old as fuck, so I probably should say like the whole word, but I don't know how algorithms work nowadays, and I don't know if just saying would put my video in a bucket of things to not show, because I know that's kind of stuff that had happened, but just in case, I'm not going to. Just, okay, thank you. But it was a time before then, and I'm talking about my experience with and this is not an old story, mind you, just a couple years ago, about a little reality competition show that I got a chance to compete in. I will preface by saying that I am only going to go through my personal experience of getting on the show. And I know the show is currently still going on, like continuing seasons wise. So if you know which I'm talking about, which I might mention, I'm not sure, and you are wanting to go on it, your experience may be different than mine, but this is only my experience I'm talking about today. But I thought it was interesting, so I will tell you, because it's kind of, it's a little bit cuckoo crazy because of how it was and how it ended up and all of that. So let's take it back to the back. There's a YTP on YouTube Poops, thank you, that is John Cena, and that was from it. Let's sit here for a minute and just kind of go through that together. Okay, great, let's go. Okay, great, let's continue. Oh my god. Okay. So, let's go back to 2019, a year before the year 2020. We went to the moon in 1969. Not 1970, but the year sooner. Another reference to something that's kind of old, probably very old. And if you know what I'm talking about, nice. Anyway, it was 2019. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I was working at what is it called for everyone else who's not in Australia? I work for a company called Centrelink, which kind of like does, if you are unemployed and you're seeking benefits from the government or whatever, you have to go through Centrelink, and I worked there on the phones. It was horrible. I have many stories from there, but not today. Unless you want to hear about it, then maybe another day. Or if you want to hear about this, because this is actually also crazy. Anyway, I was working there on the weekdays, so 9 to 5 on the weekdays, and on the weekends, I worked at an amusement park called Luna Park, which is, there's one in Melbourne and there is one in Sydney. And I worked at the Melbourne branch as a rides operator. I got to yell at people on the mic. It was fun, but I could not stay because I was having a housing crisis. Not a personal housing crisis, not the one that's already happening all around us. Personal one, where I may or may not have not been housed for a little while, and I couldn't get time off work because my boss was a big meanie, and they wouldn't give me the time, even though I literally had nowhere to go and I needed the time off to help myself move. But I quit. I quit that job because I was just like, well, stuff this, I'm not doing this anymore. What the hell? That, and I also ended up quitting my government job because I was just over it. It was horrible. So that happened. And I was, at the time, I had started like, would be dabbling in kind of like modeling and, you know, doing that kind of stuff from about 2017. And I was just looking for my big break, y'all. I was looking for my big break. I wanted to be it, you know, the it person, it girl, it guy, just it. And I was desperately looking for stuff. And at the time, I had found some success, not really huge from the stuff I've done after, but still, it was nice. But it wasn't enough. I couldn't get any paid gigs, let's say. And one day, after I quit, I was meant to go to LA to meet a friend at the time, but we were then at that point no longer friends. But I still wanted to go to LA, and they were gonna help me like with, you know, financing it, let's say. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to LA by myself. I had never been there by myself. I've been there once before, and that was it. I'm gonna go anyway. And it was kind of encroaching into 2020. We were already in January or February at that time. And at the time, my naive person did not know how serious the pandemic was going to be. So I went to LA for 2 weeks, I think. I would think it was 2 weeks. And it was all right. I don't know if it was the best trip. So on the way back was the time where I had like things lined up. I'm like, ooh, this person is gonna be making a thing and he wants to model for it, and he asked me to come and like wear the outfit and be photographed in it, and he says he's done this and he's done that, he's done editorials, and that's what I want to do so badly. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And then I come back to Australia on the exact day that we didn't know it at that time, 8 month-long lockdown happened. I was stuck at home for 8 whole months, didn't go out once, all that. So while it started, I was like, uh-oh, all my plans have fallen through. No one's doing anything. What am I gonna do? And I was like, oh gosh, I mean, I have some money and at least I can sustain myself from my 2 jobs. You know, I saved up a lot and all that. But what about all my things? So I was like, oh no, give me a sign type of thing, right? And here I am scrolling. This is me scrolling on my phone. And lo and behold, I see a little ad. Have you always wanted to become a model but society tells you no? Then come on our show and prove to the world that you can, all that, right? And I was like, what? There's a show for this? I want to do it. So I applied, and to apply, you had to go on the website, put in your details, put in a couple pictures, answer a couple questions. Then I found out that to get on the show at the time, I'm not sure if it's different now, because obviously I've already done it, so I'm not really keeping track. For me, at least, you had to get voted on, right? And that means people had to support you. And I just had a feeling that was not gonna happen for me, because I just don't really have many, let's say I don't have many people in my corner, okay? Let's just say that. So I sent my application, I voted for myself, I won free vote, and I put out on my socials like, hey, please vote for me, whatever. And I kind of let it go. I was like, you know what? No one's gonna vote for me, it's okay. Why would I expect anyone to like do anything and actually vote for me, right? So I didn't do anything about it. And then I think that was in March of 2020. Late March 2020, I received a random email from the company, I guess, that I put in my application through. And it was saying like, hey, this email is being sent to a whole bunch of people. We are just sending out a quick questionnaire regarding season 2, the season that I ended up being on, spoiler alert. And we just want to know if you can answer these questions. And it was just general questions, you know, saying, are you aware of the pandemic? Are you aware that the filming location of our season is going to be in South Africa? Are you aware that, do you know if your borders are going to be open during that time? And all of that stuff, right? And to be honest, I didn't know about every single question, but I just put yes. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And I just, again, I was like, I don't know. They said this is just a random email, right? So I'm just going to let it go. Again, I was like, you know what? I did my best. I really want to be on, but if I don't, it's going to suck, but I did my best. Who cares, right? But I'll keep looking. I'll keep applying for other things like I continue currently to do. But I think about a month later, I get another email. And this other email is kind of again saying, just double checking. Here's kind of the same kind of questions. Please answer yes or no. And again, I was like, yes, 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 send. And then a week or two later, I get another email. And it was like, hey, we are one, because what they did at the time was get people to record like a quick intro. Hi, my name is video, right? And why I would like to be on the show and all that. And they would post it on their YouTube channel, I guess just to gauge how people feel about certain people. I'm not sure, right? So they asked me to do one of those. So I did. And watching that one back is a little bit embarrassing because I was like, yes, I'm going to be on TV. Girl, I'm like, oh no, why did I do that? I was like, yes, I just washed my hair and it's completely wet. It was so bad. I didn't do that specifically, but there is, whatever. And it was like backlit for some reason. And I would just I get up and I step to the back a little bit in the video and you just can't see anything. But I thought that was, it was funny watching it back sometimes. And so I again put out, hey, they posted a video, you can have a look, blah, 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 right? But I didn't know, I didn't know anything that was going to happen afterwards. So I was like, oh, I really want to make it, ooh, please. So again, the video went up, nothing really happened, right? And then a month or two later, I want to say a month or two later, yeah, maybe, I receive an email back again asking me to do like a video showing off a talent. And I'm like, hi, do you guys know that I literally don't have any talents? Like any physical talents? Like I can pose for a photo and I do graphic design. That's kind of like a talent, but how do I show that on video? So I thought, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Because at the time, what I was also doing, because pandemic, was doing my own photo shoots at home, sitting like in there. Oh, hold on. You can't see. Don't worry about it. In the room next to me, there's like a big kind of wall-to-wall window. And so I just kind of, and the sun just beams right in. So I kind of use that as a natural light. And I just use this camera, which is my phone. Hi. Say hi. Hi. And I just kind of take photos and then I go edit them myself. I'll make the backgrounds. I try to make everything myself and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a video. I'll take a video of myself doing like a photo shoot, and I end up doing it one for real. And then I'll screen record myself editing it all together. And then I'll just do like a speed edit or whatever, and then that's what I'll give them. It was like it had to be like 2 minutes long or something, and so it was really short, and it was difficult because doing all of it takes me like, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, maybe 2 to 5 hours depending, right? So I did that. They never ended up using the video, which I was like, oh, I put in effort. I still posted the photos on my Instagram, thank you very much, but still. I was like, whatever, who cares? So that happened. And then afterwards, I got another email. And on that email, it was like, oh, Movember is coming up. Make a little post for us. Like, take a photo of your... I'm like, I'm not, like, I kind of have a mustache, but I'm not necessarily want to shave my beard. So I did something. And they used it. I'm like, whew, thank you. And then... what happened afterwards? Oh my gosh. This was like a very, very long process for me, at least. I think after that, I got a notification to like, that I was like making it further and further into the casting process. Which was good, but not guaranteed of anything. Which I was like, oh, that's not good. I was sent a document, and on this document, it had like 30 questions, all about how you see yourself, how people see you, what you would do if you won, what else? It was like, oh, like how are you competition wise, or what kind of competitor are you, or whatever, right? I filled out all these. It took me like 2 hours to fill in all of these questions, and I was just being detailed. Like, I wasn't being detailed to be detailed. I was just like, well, I need to answer correctly, right? Or honestly. So I was like, the entire time. So that happened, and I sent it back, and I'm like, okay, what now? I don't know what's going on. Right after that, I think in a week or two before that, I get another email. There's a lot of emails here. And in that email, it said, oh, we want to do... we want to have you meet with like one of the producers just to chat and just kind of get a vibe read, I guess. This doesn't mean that you've made the show or anything. This is just a formality, yada yada yada. I'm like, oh my god. So it was a Skype meeting. Who the hell uses Skype anymore? And this was in 2020. So I don't know. I feel like Skype was like out the door like 10 years. Oh, who cares, right? But I had a Skype interview with this person from the production team, and they were kind of going back over a bunch of the questions. They kind of re-asked me a bunch of the questions, right, that I've already answered. And I will never forget one of the questions. I can understand they may have misspoke and said the wrong word, but I always will find it so funny. One of the questions they asked me was like, they were going to say, or they were wanting to say, when you die, what will it say on your tombstone, right? But how they phrased it, I'm sure accidentally, was, if you die, what will they put on your tombstone? And I'm like, if? What do you mean? Do you know something I don't? So that, I thought that was really funny, but I didn't ever react like that. I just answered it as I normally would. So I just thought that was really funny. So that happened, and then again, a couple of, I want to say a week or 2 or 3 went by, and I didn't hear anything. So every time I didn't hear anything, I would spiral. I was like, I didn't make it. Oh my god, they hate me. And then I get another email, and this time I did get another email, and they wanted me to meet with like a psychologist to do like a psych evaluation of me, which again apparently was a formality, and all of that. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it, no worries, all good. So I met with them. We spoke over Skype. No, not Skype, Zoom this time. We spoke over Zoom. She asked me a bunch of questions, and how do you feel about this? What does this make you feel? Whatever. And obviously I was being as honest as I could, but at the same time, at some points, even though I was being honest the whole time, I was thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, I wonder what she thinks of me. What is she writing about me? Please don't be like, mentally unstable. Check. Needs an actual therapist. Check. No. I don't know what she wrote, but it was a nice conversation and all that. This was nearing November at this point. I think we were close to September. Was it September or no? I think it was close to November at this point. And, I put in my application in March. So like this is 7 months in, basically. Of like, hear back, long silence, hear back, long silence, repeat. So that happened, and that was kind of it, right? The thing about the show is they want to get at least one person from every country to represent, or every country that they can get, obviously, to represent that country. So obviously, I live in Australia. I would assume I'm representing Australia. But I don't, even though I live here, I'm not from here. I'm actually Lebanese. So keep that one in mind. On some random morning in November, I'm going to say it was November, unless I'm completely wrong. It was either September or November, but I'm just going to say November and move on. I am awakened with a phone call. It's like 6 or 7 in the morning, and I see the caller ID, and it's Canada. I'm like, oh, it's the show, because they're based in Canada. They just do every season in a different country. I'm like, what do they want? So I pick up the phone, And it's like, hi, I'm so-and-so from the company. I'm like, hey, hi, how's it going? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Oh, yeah, I'm just calling just to get some extra bits of info before we kind of continue with our casting. I'm like, yeah, of course, no worries. They were basically telling me stuff I already knew, like, oh, you've done this and you've done that, and you're gonna, whatever. I'm like, yep, all good. I am on board so far, no issues. And then they say, if you were to put on, be like part of the show, would you would it be bad, or like would you not agree to represent Lebanon instead of Australia, because we kind of already have someone like representing Australia. And I was like, I mean, as long as I can still say what I want to say and it won't change much, then I don't mind, sure. Like, that's not going to be too much of an issue. And they go, okay, yeah, cool. I'll just note that down and just let you know. Thanks for letting us know. Because congratulations, you've made it onto the season 2. I'm like, oh my god, stop! No way! So that was kind of crazy. Jumping ahead, I eventually ended up representing Australia regardless, because the person from Australia dropped out, so I took their place. So it was fine. I kind of did a split country thing. Don't worry, it was fine. And I was like, why you crazy? Why the movie's going? You crazy? Right? I was going crazy. And then they're like, and we're gonna tell you who the host is. And at the time, it was like a secret. So I'm like, ooh, who is it? And they're like, it's AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. I'm like, excuse me? What? What's going on? And they're like, yep, but you have to keep it a secret until we announce it and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my god, stop. Okay, of course. And then they obviously announced it and all that. And then I went on the show and competed. If you're wondering what show it is and how I did and all that, actually, the show is currently available for people in the US. I don't know about other countries just yet. All I know is that it's coming, I think. I actually don't have any information, but for any US citizens that own a Roku channel / Xumo Play, you can actually watch it right now. It's currently out for streaming. The show is called The Fashion Hero, not parentheses, what is it? : A New Kind of Beautiful. There's 10 episodes. They're about 45 minutes each, so you could technically watch it all in one day if you so desire. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Did a lot on it. I will have more information on this, obviously, from my end, because I live in Australia, so people in Australia can't easily watch it. But when it does come to Australia, I'll be able to hopefully do more, and it'll be fun and all that. But that was how actually I got on the show, which was so long if I think about it. There's 7-8 months long process. And it was difficult to stay positive during that time, honestly, and say, I'm gonna make it on the show and no one can tell me otherwise. And then I'd go through months of, oh my god, it's not happening. What am I gonna do? So I just had to kind of keep positive. Anyway, so yeah, that was the story I wanted to tell today. If you want to know about this monstrosity, can get it because it looks like little alien monsters. If you want to know about this monstrosity and the story behind it, I'm happy to tell you about it because I'm still mad. I think it's been a year now and I'm still mad. Or anything else that I mentioned that I didn't actually go into that you want to know. But yeah, if you want to know, please let me know. Comment. I don't know where the comments are, okay? I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't want to say goodbye. Okay, I have to go. Bye.